Remember, this entire manga and every manga on this channel is hand-drawn by myself, and now you too can learn exactly how to make your own viral Dragon Ball mangas at www.makemanga.com, where you can learn directly from me. My mangas have got me on TV, on newspapers, and even earned me over $60,000 a month on Patreon alone. And now, you can click the link in the description and pinned comment of this video and do it yourself. You only need to see the website to see just how many thousands of you are taking this opportunity right now. And don't forget also, the next video to this Ultra Vegito series has already been made and is live now on my Patreon right now for over 4,500 of you incredible fans to watch after this. Again, links are in the pinned comment and description. Enjoy.
You? What are you doing?
So our story continues with the shocking sight of the former devil, Kazuya Mishima, after running through and destroying the God Killers, finally being stopped in his place by none other than Goku Black, arriving behind in an all-new form, complete with rosé seraphim eyes and chains from several mysterious black portals that would shoot out to trap the Demon Emperor.
What do you think you're doing, worm?
But having his chance to finally get his revenge on Gogeta for the beating he received last chapter, now ruined, would most definitely not go without infuriating the demon, as he would look back screaming vitriol.
I said silence, you filthy demon!
But completely undeterred, Black, in his new Super Saiyan 3 inspired form, would just continue to smile and mock the creature, replying,
You brought this on yourself. I told you, the minute you thought yourself worthy to even attempt attacking one such as myself, that you would make an enemy. And an enemy for life. Nobody attacks a Kai and lives to tell the tale. A Kai?
But on hearing this revelation from Black, the Demon Emperor would instantly stop his tirade, as if it were now his own tongue being chained down as well. As now observing the chains closer, he would begin to hypothesize.
Chains unleashed by a Kai? That creature looks more like a mortal than anything. But it has to be said, these things holding me are no ordinary item. It could be why they are even so effective. Why the hell would a Kai be here now? Nothing is making sense!
Understand now, demon? The powers of not just a Kai, but a supreme Kai has arrived to put you in your place. We are a demon's worst enemy! As now bursting into a maniacal laughter, grabbing his face eccentrically, Black would be completely convinced of his control over Kazuya, hardly breaking a sweat as the demon remains in place, and he would continue. Those chains are indeed not any ordinary ones, made from the hardest known material in the multiverse, Kachin. These from a realm only accessible by the Kais. Normally, I would need a time ring to travel there, but with my mastery, I have found a way to gain access even without.
a way to summon the famed chains that even kept the God Killer trapped for 10 years. A pity I couldn't save this for him, but your insolence was worth the price. What? Those are... As suddenly, now it wouldn't be just Kazuya who would be left shocked, but now the God Killer, as he would immediately cast his mind back to all those years ago when he spent 10 years chained up, with absolutely no way to break free, as he would think internally, those are what held me for all that time. They look exactly the same. Never did I think I would ever see them again. And from Black of all people, just what has he learned while he's been away? Wait! But soon a more shocking thought would come to him, as now sweating profusely, he would mutter, "It held me back then, before I absorbed anyone. But now, could they really still hold me? Could they really hold Kazuya?" You silly dog! I didn't ask for your life story! I just wondered why those so-called Kais had such useless techniques! What? As suddenly now tensing his muscles and growing larger by the second, no hint of fear would be on Kazuya's face at all, as slowly but surely he would begin moving the chains further out of their portals and himself further towards GT Goku and GT Vegeta. All while Black's puzzled face would be in sheer disbelief as he would mutter, "The chains? How is he controlling them? Through sheer strength? Surely not?" But as Goku Black would doubt the former devil, his muscles would only grow bigger and stronger, pulling on the chains violently, stretching them to their limits, to the point they would visibly vibrate at the speed of sound. And on closer inspection, unthinkably, they would begin to crack. The same material not even Gohan, wielding the Z-Sword, could put a scratch on. No! It can't be! Kazuya! No! Instantly being realized by both Black and Vegito, who would both bear faces of extreme panic. And thinking fast, knowing the calamity that was about to unleash, Vegito would quickly turn his head back and yell, "You two! What the hell are you clowns waiting for? Get out of here and fuse before it's too late! You're our only hope!" And with the two GT warriors now alarmed and with their backs up, immediately the two would follow orders and jump back far from the scene. And as the miniature Goku finally starts taking things serious, he would then turn to Vegeta and yell, "Alright, you heard the man. We'll have to do the fusion dance again. It's been a long while though. You sure you still remember how to?" "Who do you think I am, clown?" To which an annoyed future Vegeta would just turn back and shout back, "Shut up and just get on with it! We have no time!" No time? You're right about that! He's coming! and as the two would begin to fuse behind Vegito, the Godkiller's face would be full of terror, stumbling slowly backwards as a frightening scene would be unfolding right before his eyes. Unleash me from these pathetic shackles, worm! As doing the impossible but inevitable, Devil Kazuya would break free from the strongest material in the known multiverse, shattering it to pieces like glass as his overpowered body would forcefully move forward. And now, nothing but you stands in my way, puppy. As now with a sadistic smile coming over his face, his bloodlust for the fused Saiyan ahead would be off the charts. Don't look at me like that! You're not getting through me so easily! But despite brave words, in complete contrast to his fearful appearance, it wouldn't be long at all before his bravado would be cut short and... With one long time coming punch, Vegito would finally be smacked straight across the face by Kazuya, sending blood instantly shooting out of his mouth. A mockery! You have made a mockery of the Kais! But back with Black, his fury would only begin, not because of Vegito's assault, but more so that his all-new form and technique would be made to look so useless so quickly. I shall remind you where you demons stand! As now rushing in without thought with his rosé energy scythe in hand. Turn around and die! He would immediately jump right behind Kazuya in his blind spot with his blade pulled right back before... Turn around as you wish, puppy. As with a flick of his head, the blistering red eye of the demon would immediately detect him, and with a growing grin across his face. My scythe! But as Kazuya would turn, he would immediately grab the long stem of the scythe, stopping it instantly from making contact, leaving Black to be forced to remain just suspended in the air, his facial expression unable to even comprehend being overpowered so easily even after all his years of training. As looking back at him coldly, the dark face of Devil Kazuya would just let out, You may have been somebody where you're from, child. But remember this, you hold no power here. Fusion! Wait! But his cold words would come to a stop, when in the distance, the muffled words of two Saiyans performing the fusion dance would be heard. As back with GT Goku and Vegeta, the two would now have finished their fusion dance, yelling at each other before a shot from a distance would be seen, with their two dark silhouettes converging, placing the tips of their hands together, as expected. But unfortunately, on closer inspection, their fingers would be missing each other by a fraction. And with that, they may have also missed their only chance to regain victory. But regardless, in a giant flash of light, as their two behemoth energies would combine, the fusion would carry on. No! They didn't! No! And as Kazuya would realize, it would be far too late, with himself already being lost in the light, along with an equally perplexed Black, who had never seen the Metamoran fusion before. They did it! It's over! But Vegito, now on one knee and recovering from Kazuya's earlier attack, would have a completely different expression, smiling away proud as his two former students complete their task. And as the light and smoke would fade, we would finally begin to see the appearance of the one fused figure, completely coated in stardust energy. First his arms, then his legs, then what appears to be a belly, and then his hair. The clothes seem right, but for some reason, the proportions would be all wrong. Ha! Guess who's back? As in a truly sad reveal, Stardust Gogeta would be back, but as the wrong fusion, after making that key mistake. Now an obese and short shell of his former self, his muffin top would hang over his belt, but seeming completely oblivious to his new look, with a confident grin still and demeanor, Gogeta would continue. Now, where were we, Kazuya? I'm afraid it's me again, and this time, I'm going to finish the job. Before now, with the coolest of expressions, he would then address Vegito and Black, adding, You two can relax now. You did well, but Papa's finally here to clear this mess up. Try and not get in my way. But in a comedic scene, with neither Vegito nor Black being able to believe their very eyes, their faces would say everything, frozen in disarray, as Vegito would whisper, Get in your way? What way? Your belly is taking up every direction! While Black would add, I risked my life for this disgusting creature! Disgusting? Belly? What are you two guys talking about? But as we had thought, blissfully unaware, Gogeta would have no clue what was going on. As now letting out a sigh in disappointment, Vegito would finally care to explain. Do you really not feel any different, kid? How about you have a look down at yourself, you damn idiot! And with that, Stardust Gogeta would finally have a peek at his now far more plump stature. What the hell? Who did this? Goku? Vegeta? Why does a failed fusion always end up fat? As finally having some self-awareness, his nearly crying face would blow up in disbelief, screaming away in a high-pitched voice. But the comedy would soon vanish, once Gogeta's face would return to seriousness, turning swiftly to his right as he would sense he was no longer alone. Hello again. My, you've put on some weight while you've been away. Allow me to shed the pounds.
As right in front, menacingly, would of course be Devil Kazuya, ready to redeem his mistake, and with a far easier job now than he had ever before.
I may be bigger, but that doesn't mean I can't fight anymore!
As Gogeta, despite his new look, would still have faith, pulling back his fist before... As he would swing his much shorter, pudgier arm, it would barely close the distance, almost immediately dodged to the side by the slightest of movements from the Emperor. But not even really countering, Kazuya would just stare with annoyance, commenting,
That was supposed to be you attacking? That new body of yours is moving in slow motion. Hurry up and get real. I have no interest in such games. Games? I'm trying my best here!
But Gogeta, unable to even do anything better, would just be left in panic, as he finally begins to remember just what kind of drawbacks this wrong fusion would have.
Try this! So this is your limit then?
But Gogeta, not willing to give up, would immediately jump, waddling his trunk-like leg up for a kick.
Why won't anything hit?
But as that would inevitably miss, a barrage of fists would follow from all over. These also being easily dodged at every step by a moving Kazuya, who would even go as far as to close his eyes in disrespect.
Get him! I missed!
Leaving the fat Gogeta to next try to shoot out a super ghost kamikaze clone, a la Gotenks. But this too would completely miss, as the ghostly clone would look back frustrated.
I can't believe I was even worried for a second.
And as the Stardust Warrior would miss a kick again so blatantly, the grin on Kazuya's face would undeniably continue to grow, as he would also move in closer.
Oh no! He's about to attack, isn't he?
But with his chunky body, the fused warrior would know with that miss just how off balance and vulnerable he now was. And to his worst fears, Kazuya would tighten his fist until...
Die already!
With one devastating punch straight into Gogeta's gigantic stomach, Kazuya's fist would smash through layers of flab and almost go through his entire body. Sending the bouncing ball-like warrior to skid across the surface of the ground like a pebble across water. Eventually rolling to land upright on his knees, clearly feeling the damage. But surprisingly, not long after, a smile would emerge, as looking to the brighter side of things, Gogeta would comment,
This Betty isn't all bad. It's pretty damn good at taking hits. I feel just like Majin Buu for real now. Oi, Gogeta!
But suddenly, as Gogeta would look to the positives, from afar, the God Killer would yell out to get his attention, surprising both Kazuya and the fused warrior, as they both seemingly had got lost in their own battle. But with enthusiasm now raising his arm, Vegito would yell out,
"You aren't going to beat him hand to hand, clown! You may be bigger and slower now, but your energy should be more or less the same. At least I hope. Fight him with energy attacks! Hey, that's not a bad idea!"
And immediately, this lone random piece of advice would go down perfectly with Gogeta, as with a big grin on his face, Gogeta would agree. But getting serious quickly, gritting his teeth, Gogeta would then say,
"I'm surprised I didn't think of that already. Thank you, Vegito, because now I can try something I've been wanting to test."
Before just like that, looking more like a child than an adult, Stardust Gogeta would begin placing his hands in a very familiar position before yelling,
"Stardust, come
As expected within his hands, a ball of energy would then form. But not just any, but one with the iconic colors of Gogeta's Stardust Breaker.
And I'm supposed to just let this happen then? Don't be ridiculous.
But not looking to just stand idly by, a folded-armed Kazuya would know he would end this before it even began, lifting his finger up casually before...
Give up!
Instantly, he would fire straight down a deadly beam of energy aimed straight at Gogeta to end his Kamehameha attempt prematurely.
Not on my watch!
But just as he would, Vegito would surprisingly jump into action.
Good luck, kid!
As out of nowhere, with his two fingers on his forehead, utilizing an instant transmission, like a bodyguard, Vegito would appear sideways to come right in front of the beam, surprising Gogeta behind. Allowing the powerful beam to explode instantly on contact, leaving a heavily damaged Vegito to now fall to the ground and roll. And with his final grunt, he would just yell,
"Do it! Do it now, Gogeta!"
To which Gogeta, watching on, would just quickly nod and say back,
"You got it!"
Ultimately then finally unleashing his Stardust Kamehameha wave for the very first time, and with a yell to end all yells, with his intensity now mirroring a Teen Gohan against Cell.
Damn it!
Leaving Kazuya now to just stare forward, having been interfered with once more and left to be too late.
I better get out of here.
And while the beam would travel to both of them, Vegito, who would be on the ground, would immediately jump away. But curiously, Kazuya would make no attempt to do the same.
Bring it on, puppy!
And with serious conviction, instead of moving, the former devil would opt to instead immediately swing his arms in front in a cross and take the full brunt of Gogeta's blast, immediately finding it completely enveloping his body. And on first sight, it would seem that just like on a few occasions now,
the overconfident Demon Emperor would have bitten off more than he could chew, as almost instantly his face would be lost in the light screaming. Not only that, but his whole body would begin to smoke as if disintegrating on the spot. What a fool! I thought he'd at least try a beam struggle, but this works out even better! Gogeta, you've got him! Finish it now! You don't need to tell me twice. And an equally as confident Stardust Gogeta, hearing this, would just smirk on with no qualms, preparing himself before... This ends here, Kazuya! With one final push, with all his remaining power, Gogeta would raise the intensity of his blast even further, ready to turn his already overwhelming attack into a complete whitewash. And as he would sense his attack being near double in power and Kazuya's end imminent, a trace of confidence would come over Gogeta as he would say farewell, letting out, Well, this was fun. A whole lot of ups and downs, but I finally got to make my mark. Goodbye, Kazu. But in typical fashion, no conclusions could ever be made when it came to the villains of the Ultra Vegito series, as now suddenly shocked in the face, in the distance, the dark silhouette of Kazuya would still remain, and what's more, it would appear closer than before. Pitiful! As now not even smoking or burning away, Kazuya would shockingly be seen, slowly but surely walking through Gogeta's blast as if it were just a mere gust of wind. As crucially, he would be casually remarking, The God Killer was wrong. You are nowhere near as strong as before. Be gone, weakling! As unceremoniously, with this said, Kazuya would then immediately fire out his devil laser. Previously shown to be ineffective against Stardust Gogeta's attacks, but with him positive of the fat Gogeta's weakness, he would blast it out anyway. No! That can't be! Leaving Vegito stunned at the turn of events. And only moments later, Kazuya would seemingly be proven right, as his devil laser beam would cut through Gogeta's Kamehameha wave like it were nothing, and almost bridge the entire gap. Damn it! He's right! All this because of a wrong finger or two? Come on, give me a break! You can take your break in the afterlife! As despite Gogeta's pleading, Kazuya would power on even further, to the point the Devil Beam would now have eradicated most of the Saiyan's energy, with little left to fight back with. Even pushing the struggling Gogeta so hard, his feet would crash into the ground by force. But as the end would soon come, the ultimate defeat after all their efforts, Vegito would become a recluse, standing up with his head ducked down and not a word said. All alone, motionless, as he would just mumble, "In the end, I can never rely on anyone else. Everything always comes down to me." Before, just like that, he would vanish from the spot, and interestingly, seemed to appear right behind Kazuya. You again? Being noticed by the demon, but eliciting no fear within him, knowing how useless his attacks were against him previously. But regardless, Vegito, against all odds and all things we've seen in the past, would unleash his Godslayer blade anyway. That thing again? Have you forgotten how it was shattered last time, fool? Causing just laughter to explode out of Kazuya, as no longer even focusing on the joke-like attack, he would carry on, finishing off Gogeta. But with that same Godslayer arm visible in full view, ominously, the Godkiller would reply while walking forward. I haven't forgot. I couldn't beat you as I was then. But now, I see it. I see the... Vegito! What is this dog blabbering about now? Leaving both Gogeta and Kazuya mid-beam struggle to react in confusion to the words, just anticipating him to finish his sentence until... I see the light now! What? This energy, it's... As in an unbelievable change and twist, Vegito would completely take on the form and energy signature of none other than light, the first of the 5 strongest, a being of pure positive energy, with Vegito's entire body now turning white, along with his Godslayer blade, which would be lifted high into the air, now right behind a terrified devil Kazuya. Before... Time to die! And just like that, in one ferocious swipe down of the light Godslayer blade, Ultra Vegito would finally end the Demon Emperor of Sector 2. Or had he? But that was it for today's video, guys, and if you made it this far, leave me a hashtag Vegeta in the comments down below and let me know just what Vegeta will do when he finds out about his father and possibly about his son too. Or just find out right now on my Patreon, where you can see the full next video, fully voice acted, soundtracked, and edited for you to enjoy with over 4,700 other fans, as well as getting access to 250 plus other fan mangas too. It's the deal of the century.